Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Web3 Business Podcast. My name is Rob, and I'm here today with Faisy. Welcome, Faisy.
Hey there. Hey, thanks for having me, Robbie.
Thanks for being here. And we are going to talk today about your journey in the Web3 space, as well as what you guys are doing with AstraNova and the other initiatives you are part of. So let's get right into it. What has been your journey to actually end up here in the Web3 space?
I would say I was actually been part of this industry since early 2015. I was into mining and I had my own mining farms. And later that actually stemmed into, getting into ICOs, trading NFTs, and eventually it got me into a lot of communities, DAOs, and then finally, because of my entrepreneurship spirit, which I was doing since my college days, it kind of led me to thinking of actually starting my own venture towards the end of 2020. And that's where I started this blockchain gaming revolution with my partner. So um, it's all about the early the early days where things were yet to be discovered. That's around the time when I was in, and later on, when the COVID time and all was hitting, there was not much to be done, and that's when I thought of actually starting it as a venture, and AstraNova just took off, and here we are.
And how did you actually get into blockchain mining? Why did you decide to get into that?
Well, I actually was into pen testing, and at that time I used to surf the deep web, and it was very common. As in the at that time, this was actually drug money, BTC. It was does not have the value it has today. So I mean, since there was no use for me, but more on the technical side, I kind of like ignored it. But around 2015, I thought that it's now or never. Everyone else is doing it, and everyone smart who I knew was doing it, and I didn't want to be left out. So that kind of propelled me to get into farms myself, and then go into. I even had I was mining Ethereum for a while, but then yeah, you know how it ended after the staking update, the POS update. So yeah, but it was a fun
And
journey
are you
while it
still you're still
was
mining
still going
Bitcoin?
on. No, after the electricity issues and the hiccups for prices, and during a bear market, it was not profitable for me. So I closed it down and I focused completely on trading and other activities instead. So a shift in mind, but I would say we had a healthy run of around 3 to 4 years, easily.
So you actually did that as your normal full-time business, or was it more of a side gig?
So when I started that, I was still in my college. So yeah, it was a side thing, and it just took off to main. Right after my college, it just took off to my main profession and stuff.
That's quite interesting. And you mentioned the electricity prices, right? Because you're in Saudi, right?
No,
Was it back
so
then?
yeah, so during my college time and stuff, I was in India. So I was running the farms from India because comparatively, at that time, regulation-wise, even Saudi was not very favorable back in the 2015 and stuff. Comparatively, India had more relaxed and freer rules and regulations at that point of time. So I had my operation set here in India, and yeah, so over here, where I was located, The price was okayish in the start, but then they hiked it up to astronomical numbers, and yeah, it was not feasible.
And how did you then end up doing your current project, which is AstraNova? How did it materialize? How did you get into that idea?
So I was actually part of a lot of communities, and also my partner, which I met on along the way, he was also into crypto since 2017, and I mean, we both wanted to do some a startup in the blockchain space, and um, so for me, it was all about having this technology integrated, and for him, it was about gaming. So gaming meets blockchain, and that's how Astronova started off as a gaming and blockchain gaming venture in 2020. So we are not game founders, but we're following the route of Riot Games and all these founders. So those guys also have zero experience when it comes to um, gaming. But what I mean, zero experience in the sense that they haven't made games before building and putting out right. But the thing what they did was they're good at is building talented people together to build revolutionary ideas. So we're following that route where we're good at bringing really talented people together, making them work together on with a with a very crazy vision, and that's what actually took us here, and we were able to convince people, they were able to join us, and here we are. We are trying to build something what people would call crazy, right, a few years back, and so far it's going good.
So you basically, you and your partner, you had a very high level idea of like different opportunities you guys wanted to, let's
Right.
say, combine, but you didn't have an exact idea of the actual game or the implementation. And then you found the right people that have those ideas, right? Is that correct?
Yes. So it took. It wasn't like us just finding people, because even to find people, you need to know where to look, right? So we actually leveraged our network to connect with advisors, top tier people from major game studios like Activision, Valve, Riot. Actually, in fact, one of the early advisors for us was the ex-president of Riot Games, Mr. Jin. He's the guy who helped publish one of the largest games in the world, League of Legends. So we had him point out, find and identify what are the right things, what things should we look out for. So those are the kind of inputs which actually helped us in curating this team, knowing which direction to go, and otherwise we'll be just shooting in the dark. So we spent around 1 year of R&D to build a team, as well as find these kind of necessary inputs before setting forth on an official journey. So yeah, 1 year was a complete R&D phase for us.
Okay, so you got a lot of different advisors on board, and what is the eventual kind of concept you guys came up with after 1 year? What kind of materialized there in terms of how did you apply, how did you combine those two things of Web3 and gaming?
Well, first off, the genre which we were planning to do, it was an RPG, but we actually came upon a very interesting roadmap, a final answer. That is, we're going through a phased approach, like Final Fantasy is doing. So initially, we do the RPG game, which is why all this raise, fundraise, along with the partnerships, everything is happening for this RPG game. Followed with that, in couple phases later, seasons later, there will be the multiplayer game. That will be an addition. It'll be like the second phase of the project, and then there is a MMORPG version. So it's a three-phase approach, and this is what we think will sell, because the RPG game will help understand for the users to understand more about the lore, the characters in the story, and the multiplayer will have them interact with others, and the MMORPG will be like a vast world where they can explore. So only that way will a lore and a story of this size can be easily digested by our audience. That's what we believe.
And what about the Web3 part? How are you guys going to implement that?
Come again? I didn't quite hear you.
The blockchain part, the Web3 part.
Okay. So the Web3 part over here is this is what makes us unique, right? As in, if we just take out the Web3 aspect, then it will be just another game studio building. So this is what makes this entire journey interesting by revolutionizing gaming, because here we are actually incentivizing the users who are playing the game for their time which they're spending, which they don't get rewarded in traditional games. So in traditional games, you just get entertainment. What we wanted to set a difference was you play a Web3 game, then you basically get incentivized for your time via tokens and NFTs. You get control over your assets, So later on, you don't want to be part of the game. You got banned by the game, whatever, nerfed. You can still sell your assets on marketplace or exchanges. So these aspects, along with the fact that community is an integral part of the game development process and the pipeline, is something which we wanted to ensure we actually uphold, and we actually signed uh, a few partnerships like with some UGC platforms to make this vision come into life. So that's the kind of reasonings we have for the Web3 integration into it. And that's what we think is going to change, right? Because there's no problem with actual traditional games. It's entertaining, it's really fun, apart from these things which I just mentioned. And that's what we stand to change.
Wow, that's quite interesting. And you guys did already any fundraising round?
Yes, we have. It was actually quite fast. We've been on this since now 3 years. Now, we operated initially on bootstrapping. We got a lot of grants from quite a few organizations, and like NVIDIA, Microsoft, HBAR Foundation, Hashgraph Association, all these firms. Some of them are blockchain, some of them are native Web2. But we, apart from that, we also raised a pre-seed round back 2 years back with friends, family, and a few VCs. And then it was recently that we closed our seed round and quite a bit of our private round and stuff the last 2 months, when the market was picking up and people were, bullish on this. So yeah, we were bear builders. We went through the worst, and we held on. And I think that's basically what a lot of the investors are seeing at this stage. We do have a few more, a little bit more to complete our race, but we believe that we'll be finishing all the rounds this month, and then going for a token launch towards June. That's our timelines that we have.
And so the money is based on equity so far, or you also did a pre-sale of the tokens?
No, it's purely SAFT agreements, so it's all token sales. And we found investors like Hashcraft Ventures from Switzerland, Oxbow, Equinox, Spicy Cat. All of these investors, these are all on token sales. So we, I mean, at this stage, we don't think. We're off the bear market, and unless there is some really amazing investors, like we think a few like Neom and stuff, which we are in talks with. We wish to reserve the equity part only for extreme value-add investors, and if not, token raise is more than enough, because we've been quite successful with that. So we would like to stick to that model.
Interesting. So you personally also believe in this kind of token-based fundraising model for startups?
I believe for Web3 projects, this is a leverage that we have over the other industry sectors. So if you don't use it, then it's our loss. That's one. And two, it doesn't work all the time. So you have it only works if the project is sound, if the project is, you know, has it's not like the previous cycle where a GameFi project just gets funded out of the blue. You need to show them substance, you need to show them traction, you need to show them figures, and then they make the decision. But and I would say that when we have these kind of advantages, especially for Web3 projects, we got to do this. Um, Equity, especially for projects like us, can be a later stage thing for a multi 50 million round or something in the future when we're doing the MMORPG or multiplayer. And at this stage, it's better to dilute a little bit of token liquidity and raise investments. That is our approach anyway. I think it's a good bull market or post late bear market strategy. In bear market, it's very hard to raise purely on tokens. We have experience.
And is this your first venture? I know you're also doing Sensei Capital. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. What is the idea behind that?
So Sensei Capital is a VC firm based out of Ras Al Khaimah in UAE. It's a Web3 fund which we started in collaboration with a few family houses who's very predominantly investing in that region in mainly real estate and stocks. Now we shifted a bit from there and was able to convince the LPs to venture into Web3. So we sourced good deals, and we invest in early stage Web3 projects, which is in few selective domains like gaming, AI, RWA, and nowadays we find an interest in BTC ecosystem projects too. So yeah.
That's great. Well, it's quite interesting, and I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more of you. I know you're gonna be in Dubai next week for 2049. So if anybody wants to meet you, then we will leave a link to your Twitter and LinkedIn in this production. And for now, Faizi, really, really great to meet you, to do this interview, and hope to have you on another time again. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Robbie. Yep, we'll catch up soon.